What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Guys of Texas podcast. Texas steamrolls Florida 49-17. Quinn Ewers, 19 of 27, 333 yards, most of those in the first half, 5 TDs. Arch Manning does come in, has 6 attempts, 3 completions for 19 yards. Defense rocked it out. Offense rocked it out. Not a whole lot to nitpick on this game, but Jono and I were at the game, written them on. Seth watching from home. So, what'd you boys take from the game this week?
I was curious what the early morning atmosphere was like there at the game.
Well, number one, I forgot it was like for 11 a.m. games because I got there at like 9 o'clock downtown and didn't park until like 10:15. It was chaos.
Yeah, it was hectic down there. I did the same thing driving down there. I was like, oh, I'll just park in my normal spot over there on 18. And then I get down there and I'm like, oh crap. Like I'm not here 4 hours before the game like usual. So it was still buzzing down there though. I mean, it definitely didn't have the same buzz as Georgia by any means, but it was still packed out down there. And man, we were talking about Florida fans represented hard.
Yeah.
Super surprised. I mean, they had that whole away section, and then on the home side, the whole top tier of the upper section on the home side was all blue. Yeah. So it was pretty surprising to see. I mean, they had absolutely nothing to cheer about the entire game, but Florida fans represented. So props to them.
They're really cool. We were talking to a lot of them. The other thing is for their first score, loudest roar they had all game. And the reason why, and they were talking, it was the second half, and they were talking to us the whole time. They're like, look, we have a massive scoring streak going, and we can't lose that. They haven't been shut out. And like, I got to look up.
I think the dude said like,
it was like 1950.
It was like crazy long streak that they've had going where they haven't been shut out. And they were all starting to get nervous at half because they were like, oh crap.
That's a really weird thing to hang your hat on.
Yeah. 36 years ago. October 29th, 1988, Auburn Tigers defeated the Gators in Gainesville 16-0. That is something they hang their hat on. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, the Longhorn fans were turning around. They were like, what is going on? Why are they so excited? And I was like, I told them what they had told us. They were like, that makes more sense. So they, a lot of people traveled. Like, there were guys from Jacksonville. There's some people that were talking to us from South Carolina. So definitely outshowed Georgia for sure.
Dude, knock on wood, I have not traveled to a game and experienced a loss. And I can't imagine like coming all the way from Florida and then having to travel back home just like in despair and pissed off that you wasted all this money and everything.
Well, not just a loss, a shellacking. Like it wasn't close. And let's call it what it is. Yes, Lagway wasn't playing, but this is the same team that played Georgia the week before, and their defense stepped up too. Like we were doing anything and everything against their defense.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty cool to see Gibson get as many carries as he did, do as well as he did, because I didn't really think about it at the time, but after the game I looked it up. He's from Gainesville, Florida. Not sure if he had any kind of recruiting with them. I don't really remember off the top of my head, but seeing him get the bulk of the carries was pretty cool because I feel like we really haven't seen him touch the ball since probably that opening conference game.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It's been a good minute, so it was cool to see Gibson get some carries finally.
And he's tied for the lead in touchdowns as a running back. Hadn't played in a month and still is tied for the lead now.
I didn't realize Wisner only got 4 carries. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It was a big passing offense.
I was about to say he had a lot of touches. Both him and Blue had a lot of touches as far as the passing game goes. I know Blue looked pretty good out of the backfield. They kind of used him as we've been talking about using him for so long, as that kind of scat back type guy and get him in space, and they did a pretty good job of doing that. I mean, me and TJ on that one play call, Seth, I'm sure you probably saw it, that little razzle dazzle in the first half where there was 3 or 4 misdirections going that Sark called.
Oh, dude.
Super cool. And I saw too, I didn't see until after the game, that Isaiah Bond actually tweeted out at halftime about that play.
Oh, for real? I haven't seen that.
And I was like, no way, he's gonna get in trouble for that for sure. But
bro, that play's gonna come up again, and there were 5 different players I feel like that could have ran out of that little huddle with the football. Like that was chaos.
I can't even count how many times I've rewatched it and just watching all the Florida players completely confused. Like they fought like the one linebacker that was right there. He like turned his head like 3 different times trying to figure it out. And then finally he figured out where it was and he just like put his shoulders down and was just like, damn.
Well, there was that other play that Sark called. It had Wisner and Blue on both ends. And the first time we ran it, it was just a handoff to Wisner. He takes off, not much of a gain. And I looked at Jono and I said, you watch. That play is going to come back very quickly. And sure enough, they ran it. It was the Wisner touchdown. They ran it. Blue went in motion at that point. Wisner went around. It was a pass to Wisner. He breaks free, goes all the way for a touchdown. That was huge. And Sark is starting to bring out the plays now. Quinn looked very comfortable. I think there was only one play where he just drilled it right at a linebacker, and luckily he couldn't catch. But yeah, overall, fantastic day. Jono and I both had a great day in the betting field. We had Helm, Wisner, Bond for touchdowns, over 244, I believe it was, passing yards for Quinn. He had that in the first half. Stellar day. We won't talk about Jono betting for Florida Gators. He's just begging for a Florida Gator touchdown at the end of the game and ends up getting it. But hey, win's a win. But I mean, overall, I was thoroughly impressed. Yes, obviously Lagway wasn't in the game, but also Makuba back in form. Like the defense, man, this is, and we talked about it during the game, this is the best defense that Texas has ever had currently. And in the college football, as it is right now,
what does that mean? Best defense that they've had currently?
Well, as of the way we have currently played, obviously we've got to get to the end of the season, but they keep on to this. It's the best defense Texas ever had. That's what I mean by that.
Ever had?
Yes. Like, is that not an accurate statement? Like, name me a defense that Texas has had that was, if they continue to play the way they have played and shut down these football teams. I mean, even Georgia, like, look at the way they played Georgia. Sure, Georgia put up 30, but their turnovers that they were where we gave them the field position is what hurt them there.
Yeah. I don't know. Ever is a big statement. I still back to those years with all the 05 guys that were pretty incredible, but I don't know.
They were good, but I'm just saying that you continue this on, including the extended playoffs now, and they keep this same track record and run it out where they're not letting anybody score more than 20 points, like even high offense teams. Like, sure, Florida scored at the end in the fourth quarter, but who did we have on the field at that point?
Right.
I mean,
their stats are stellar. I mean, with yesterday's performance, it probably helps us out a little bit, but like we're letting teams average like 9 points a game now, something like that. It's stellar. Dang. I don't know what it averages right now, but it's a crazy stat. So our secondary is so impressive. Like Makuba and Muhammad. I'm like, it's sad. Yesterday I was thinking about with Anthony Hill. They were showing him on some highlight or something like that. I'm like, man, he's only got like 1 more year with us. Like, you go from him having his freshman breakout this year and like, dude, he's gonna be really good. And now you're already like, oh, he's already he's not gonna be here much longer. So those guys are great.
I think overall. Oh, did you guys see Sark's wife on the field? I think they're rekindled.
It's strange.
It's weird.
Ring, showing up at games.
Hey, let it happen. Okay, look at if it makes them happy. But glad to have her back on the field. Spurrier was on the field too, walking around like Michael J. Fox out there.
Really?
I didn't even notice he was at the game. Yeah, I saw a clip of him. I was like, oh man, there was a lot of Spurrier jerseys.
Yeah, there was.
I was like, okay, it's kind of
interesting,
odd. Like, I feel like there were Florida Gator wise people that have played that there's a lot of different players, old school wise, that I would wear before a Spurrier jersey.
But he's a legend down there, man.
What else you guys get from the game this week?
I mean, you kind of touched on it, but my frustration the last couple of weeks has been the play calling. And I felt like Sark finally was calling plays that really made a lot more sense for our style of offense, and I was really happy to see it. I mean, you're still doing the stuff to the outside, which, I mean, I don't want to give up on that either, but I don't want it to be our only avenue for yards. And he was actually hitting some things downfield. And Quinn looked great. He was playing great. And so that was probably the happiest thing that I came out of the game with, is just it felt like he was calling the right type of game.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely felt like more of a play calls that he had when we played Michigan and kind of pre-injury Quinn. Not as much side to side. It was more getting some guys down the field. So that was nice to see for sure. And then, I mean, we still had 70 penalty yards, so still kind of stacked up on us. 70 still too many, but it didn't really seem like we had those like drive killer penalties like we've had in the last few weeks for sure. And then, yeah, I mean, just kind of going off Quinn, man. Quinn looked really comfortable back there. He kind of found his footing again. The line was giving him time to throw the ball. I think Florida maybe had one sack in that game. And then defensively, I mean, we shut down their quarterback. Their quarterback's a transfer from Yale, I believe. Just tough situation for him to step into for sure. But both their running backs, I mean, they still had decent games. I mean, we gave up some yards on the ground, but that's all they had going for them. I mean, they were just going to drill it over and over and over again on us. And it obviously kind of wore down towards the end of the game where we gave up some yards late. But, I mean, overall, man, it was one of those games that we walked out of, and I was super happy with the performance. We did exactly what we needed to do with this team.
Yeah, the penalties was the one thing that I was looking at, and also I looked up at third down conversions. We were one for 4 in the first half. I think it went to 1 and 5 at one point, but there was third down conversions we still got to get better on. Also, ballsy call in your own territory for the fourth down call.
Game.
I was sweating, and Gibson fought for that entire yard.
Yeah,
like it was a momentum builder for sure. I think that kind of settled everybody down once we got there. But ballsy call. Also, I would like to call out one particular group, and that would be the student section. Yes. Where were you guys in the second half? Like, it was empty. I looked over, I was like, what? Now, the whole stadium by the fourth quarter was empty. But that student section, I mean, everyone that was in the student section had completely moved down. I think the first 14 rows were full, and that was it. Like, all the rest of the rows behind it was completely empty. I was like, okay, no, we're not doing this. We want to be big and bad Texas. You're going to stay for the game. You're going to sing the eyes of Texas. What else do you have to do at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday?
Dude, and it's freaking 75 degrees.
Yeah.
75 degrees, probably the best weather we've had in a football game in recent memory, in my opinion. I mean, it was perfect weather. Yeah. Like, come on, dude, stick it out for the game. Like, that was for sure disappointing to see. I mean, we moved over there and sitting in those seats for the fourth quarter, but still, that was crazy to see. I know there was a couple of Texas fan pages that I follow that called him out as well. A couple of them posted about it. Like, what are y'all doing, man? We got the top 5 team in the country. We're playing an SEC opponent, and you're leaving early in the third quarter.
We did over to you guys on the screen, the student section.
Look, I tried.
10th year seniors?
Yeah, try to get on there. No. Master's degree. We did ask the Florida fans. I was like, so next year, do we travel to Florida or do we travel to Athens? And they said, oh, I would go to Athens all day. They were like, right now, where our team is at and everything, I would definitely go to Athens. They said, unless we're not like they said, if we're getting blown out, like the whole stadium's empty by halftime, he's like, it's not even fun. Like, Athens, you'll have a better experience unless we're a decent football team. So it sounds like Athens is going to be the play next year.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
So, a lot of chaos happened around the rest of the conference last night. Let's see. We'll start with Georgia Ole Miss, Georgia just blew their load against us.
Dude, yeah. Who was that yesterday, man?
I don't. In the last 2 games, they haven't scored the last 2 games. They haven't done very well. I mean, the only reason they won against Florida was Lagway went out.
Yeah.
So either I can't understand it, especially because we just played Florida. Like, yes, Lagway being out changes the game a little bit, but their defense is still the same.
I mean, Lagway went out in the first half, didn't he?
Towards the end of the first half, yeah. I mean, they were up 16-7, I think it was. But still, it's mind-boggling what Georgia's doing right now. Ole Miss has set that win. Georgia beats Tennessee next week, and you have, I believe it's 6 teams at 6 or with 2 losses.
Yeah, the conference is going to be crazy.
It's going to be unbelievable. Let me look at this. So if Tennessee loses, you'll have to Georgia. You'll have Tennessee, Georgia, Ole Miss, Alabama, Missouri, LSU, all who do not play each other. So if they all went out, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 team, or 7 with whoever wins the A&M Texas game.
Right.
You'll have 7 teams tied with 2 losses in the SEC. Chaos. We've got to just win out. Like, we can't even be in the mix of all that.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, Tennessee beats Georgia, and that's pretty much a wrap. It's going to be the winner of the Texas A&M game in Tennessee. Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't care one bit about seeing a fake UT versus the real UT. And we can settle this season. I would love it. But yeah, there's a lot of chaos.
Where is the SEC championship game? Is it
Atlanta? Yeah,
it's in Atlanta.
Which, I mean,
oh yeah.
If Sarah's watching, it is our anniversary today, so I mean that'll be a great anniversary present. She surprised me with SEC championship tickets. She wants a puppy, so I'll get you a puppy if you give me SEC championship tickets. Yeah, she wants another dog.
So many dogs.
Yeah. We already have a zoo.
Week.
Yes, I know. I'm aware. Yeah, she made the happy anniversary post. Can't wait to see my puppy. It's like, well, you'll be waiting for a while. So, no, not happening. Other games this week. What
I mean, did y'all end up watching that Ole Miss? I was at the bar with Jaron watching it.
Yeah,
we were having a great time. He's an Ole Miss alum. Did y'all watch much of it?
I watched a little bit of it. I'm not gonna lie, I passed out for a little while when I got home. I was exhausted.
Yeah. Me and Micah went to Pluckers afterwards.
The guy redeemed the 5 free wings.
5 free wings from the Longhorn Dub, and we watched the majority of the second half at Pluckers. I mean, it was really sloppy conditions there, but man, that was just an insane game. Ole Miss just couldn't do anything wrong, and Georgia just looked flat. Just nothing, absolutely nothing there for Georgia. It just kept feeling like, oh, Georgia's going to catch some steam here, and then all of a sudden, Beck throws an interception, Beck fumbles the ball. Like, what the heck is going on with that team, man? It's just crazy how they can go from looking the way they've looked in the earlier in the season, especially against us, to doing that against Ole Miss. It just blows my mind.
Yeah. I was really surprised throughout that game and the Alabama LSU game. Like, it rained nonstop the entire time. Yep. They didn't have a single delay. Just like rain all day.
Yeah, consistent
lightning.
Imagine being out there. That would suck. Although half the people at LSU left at halftime anyways.
Yeah, it was pretty empty.
Yeah, that game was boring. I was really excited about it and ended up we went out to watch it, and then after halftime I was like, I'm heading out.
There's no place like Death Valley. Yeah, well, Alabama killed your entire stadium by halftime. So screw you guys. Well, I still understand the fake Tiger. It's not Mike the Tiger, but they brought in a different Tiger. Is that what it was?
I thought it was Mike the Tiger, but they just have a new enclosure for him.
I was told it was not Mike the Tiger. It's a different tiger that they had brought in. I don't know, a faux tiger. They just kept talking about it. No one ever explained much of anything.
Not a faux tiger, but a faux Mike.
Yeah, sure. Yes, faux Mike. Yes.
I just saw him stressing out, pacing in that cage the entire game.
Oh yeah.
I was like, God, this feels wrong for some reason.
I know he's the one that feels wrong. Like Bevo, he just hangs out in his corner, but that tiger just looks like he's like dying of anxiety the entire
Can you
time.
imagine if that thing gets out, dude?
Oh my God.
Oh, dude. I just you don't want to see it, but you kind of want to see it.
I would watch. I would watch.
Yeah,
the video.
I would watch it. Yes, unfortunately, it happened, but let's put it on repeat.
Terrible. Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, Ole Miss. Their backup quarterback. I don't remember his name, but Dart came back and looked good, dude. He looked good too.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, he shredded Georgia's. Who is Georgia's defense? Like, I don't know. I don't know who they are.
Yeah,
like they can turn it on for a couple games. I guess we'll see if they lose to Tennessee. Oh my.
Yeah,
like and then it makes us look bad because we haven't played anybody else. Like, what are we supposed to do? We're kind of caught in this thing now. Georgia they did get screwed. I believe they had 3 top 10 teams that they had to play away. Let's see.
Dude, I've been hearing them whine about that. I don't last year they played absolutely no one. This year they're getting
exactly.
back.
Sorry, yeah. I mean, Texas, they played us. Florida, Ole Miss, and then Tennessee. I mean, that's not really. It's at home. Like, okay, sorry, you're going to play Tennessee's. I don't know. I don't consider Tennessee to really be a top 10 matchup, although I do consider Ole Miss to be a top 10 matchup, and that didn't count as one technically. So,
yeah.
Which has luckily that's one of my dubs I got this week. Other note, yes.
Said Miami finally goes down.
Yeah, finally.
Oh.
That was the last leg of my parlay.
Georgia Tech to be the one to do it either.
Yeah, exactly. They've been playing upset this year. That Cam Ward interception was the last. Like, no interceptions. I couldn't even watch a game. I was just I texted everybody like, "Hey, this is what I'm not hoping for," and I was just expecting a text come through like last second. Throws a Hail Mary, gets picked. I'm like, oh my God. Luckily he fumbled the ball.
That's what I get with him trailing. Like, oh, he's gonna get desperate. That pick's gonna be really sketchy. But held on.
Also, looking at the score right now, I'm in that survivor pool in the NFL. If the Jaguars beat the Vikings this week with Mac Jones, I'm going to lose it. $1,000 on the line, and I'm just picking Minnesota, who's played very well, and you're going to lose to Jacksonville? Oh, my God. Heads will roll.
Not going to
happen. Ohio State smokes Purdue. Will Howard, 3 TDs. Oregon beats Maryland. Miami. I mean, SMU, baby. They are just primed for that ACC championship now. Yeah. Kind of depends on who they're going to play. Miami or it'll be Miami or Clemson, right? Probably more than likely.
Yeah, both of those are sitting there with one loss in the conference now, and they don't play each other either. So I don't really know how their tiebreaker works in the ACC. But wouldn't it be crazy to think that Miami takes one loss and then doesn't even get into their conference game?
Yeah. You'd hate to see it.
Yeah.
How about
they've been flirting with the disaster all season.
I know, they're such frauds.
How about Indiana being
dude,
struggled a little bit to put Michigan away. It was a pretty close game there at the end, but at the end of the day, they're sitting there 10-0 when they were projected to, I think, get 3 wins this year is what the line had them at.
Yeah,
it's insane.
I mean,
I'm curious to see where they move this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's Michigan. They squeaked out that. Yeah. Now we can call them Twindiana, I guess we can call them right now. 10 Indiana. OU fans are desperate for him as a coach. They are all over X right now. Just if we fire Venables, we could get him. And I was like, okay, like you guys, like they're simultaneously in the game during Missouri, they're tweeting that Texas didn't play anybody ranked. Wait a minute, you were ranked when we played you guys. I'm confused on what you guys are even saying anymore.
Yeah.
Did y'all see the highlights on that Missouri OU game? Missouri snuck it out 30-23, but 4 touchdowns within the last 3 minutes and 18 seconds of the game.
Yeah,
OU
Arnold
had 2
fumbled,
touchdowns. Yeah, I mean there was a OU fumble return for a touchdown for OU to go up 23-16. Then Missouri drove down, scored with a minute left to tie it up, and then Arnold just scrambles out of the pocket and just I don't know what he was doing, dude. He cocked the ball back and it just got slapped out of his hand. Missouri picked it up and ran it back for a touchdown with 20 seconds left in the game. So if you look at the freaking win probability on there, it goes from OU being like a 98% chance to winning to Missouri, then back to OU. I mean, it was just chaos in that last 3 minutes when that was a snooze fest for the entire game.
Bottom of the barrel OU. I just hate to see that, man.
Crazy.
Shit, it's just miserable. Other controversy, BYU Utah, where you got Utah's AD at the end of the game saying we really wanted to come to the Big 12, but we just got screwed out of this game. It was stolen from us. They had a controversial holding penalty on them. BYU drives down, kicks a last-minute field goal to win the game. I didn't watch this game. I just saw the AD press conference. I saw a couple of clips from the holding.
Yeah.
I don't know. BYU survives, though.
Again.
Yeah. Someone's upset the Mormons ended up winning that game in their own. Like it's a Utah battle right there.
Yeah, dude. How about freaking Colorado sitting there in the Big 12 in second place right now, and their schedule looks pretty favorable for them to end the year.
Cockier and cockier.
They got the win in Lubbock.
They're keeping their mouths a lot more. I don't feel like they're being as obnoxious right now, but maybe I've just completely tuned them out.
Shiloh breaking out his dad's dance.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying I was texting Joe earlier, and I was like, dude, how crazy is it that we could potentially see SMU and Colorado being the 3 and 4 seed in the playoffs?
Yeah.
It's just crazy to think that that's where we're at now. I mean, I love it. I love the playoffs. I love that being an idea. But the fact that both of those teams are sitting there now in prime position to jump on that conference championship is just insane to me. I did not expect either one of those teams to be in the mix.
Yeah.
Iowa State, man, I can't believe they lost.
Yeah.
One lot, and then you lose to Kansas. Like, it's 45-36. And then TCU even. Like, TCU come up out of nowhere again. Like, the Big 12, I guess, as we talked about, they just love to kill each other. And TCU came up, smoked Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State sucks. Gundy has got to go.
Yeah, Gundy's gone.
The drop-off from last year while bringing back your running back and everything, that's crazy what they're doing this year. It's insane. Mm-hmm. I thought they were primed to step up and, like, take that conference by the reins, and they're just falling apart.
Let's see. What other big games? Vanderbilt falls. That sucks.
Yeah.
I really wanted them to beat South Carolina. And then Army pulls out the win 14-3 in a snooze fest against North Texas. That was the one that they had, a 21 play. How long was the drive?
Yeah, that's when I said, so I was like just shy of 14 minutes. So
that's crazy.
An entire freaking quarter.
That's crazy.
Lord.
Did y'all see
impossible?
Did y'all see Notre Dame freaking just demolish Florida State?
Yeah.
That's just insane to me, man. 52-3. Florida State with nine losses on the season after a top 10 preseason ranking.
And crying the year before.
Yeah.
Also, random news. Did y'all see that Pavia is suing the NCAA for another year of eligibility?
I didn't see that.
He's trying to get another. What was it? I heard him talking about it the other day. I have the article pulled up. I'm trying to see where it is right now. He's trying to say that some year, wherever he played before, like shouldn't, whatever school he was at before isn't in a tier level that should qualify against his eligibility for where he is now. So he's trying to sue for another year. I don't know why you have to go the route of suing compared to just like petitioning to get another year.
Yeah.
Right.
Keep refreshing this. I'm trying to see if the AP polls dropped.
Dropped
right now. Coaches polls out. With Texas at number 3.
I was about to say coaches polls out, but I don't think AP's dropped. And then it's just every Tuesday with the college football rankings, right?
I got it. Oregon number 1, Ohio State number 2, Texas number 3, Penn State number 4, Indiana at number 5.
Wow.
Tennessee number 6, BYU 7, Notre Dame moved up to 8, Alabama 9, Ole Miss 10. Interesting.
Where'd you get it?
It's on the AP website.
It's a good place to look.
Yeah.
Did Miami how far
so
drop?
Yeah, 9, 10. So you've got Bama, Ole Miss, Georgia, and Miami. 9, 10, 11, 12. Boise State at 13. SMU still getting hate at 14. A&M at 15. They didn't move any. Army moves up to 16. Clemson moves up to 17. Colorado up to 18. Washington State. Kansas State moves up to number 20. LSU drops to 21. Louisville 22. South Carolina moves in at 23. Missouri stays in the top 10 or top 25 at 24 for some reason. And number 25, Tulane. Huh? I'm sorry.
What a strange year, man.
I don't know. I guess they got to start doing that for the G5. I don't know. That's weird. But yeah. Texas.
Georgia dropped a lot, man.
Yeah. Oregon gets 62 total. So the total of the 62 votes for number 1. Interesting.
Yeah,
so Texas back to number 3. Currently going to be a 3 versus 15 matchup against Texas A&M. Tennessee, it'll be a 6 versus 11 matchup next weekend. Anything else we'll go over? Let's go over the points real quick, and then we will get out of here. I went 2 and 3 this week. Winner of Ole Miss and BC, lost the Miami game, the Indiana game, and the UNLV game. Seth goes 1 and 4. Army is the only one that holds there. Iowa State lost. Pitt did not cover, or Iowa State lost. Pitt did not cover. BYU, Oregon State. And then Jono went 2 and 3 as well. So that currently brings the standings at 16, 24 and 1 for me, 18, 22 for Seth, and 18, 21 and 1 for Jono.
Still wide open.
Who was the closest? Who was the closest for the pick? Let's see. Yep, 45-17. Oh, well, that's pretty. Was 49-17?
Yeah, total.
Nice.
Yeah, the one week TJ doesn't pick 56
points. Of course. I mean, honestly, we should have scored one more touchdown too. That first drive should have been some sort of points.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
I mean, Moore had 2 drops that should have been touchdowns.
Yep.
Yeah, Moore with the drop, Auburn with the missed field goal.
Did you would have won that if Moore would have gotten that touchdown?
No, because LSU. What's the LSU's quarterback name?
Oh, Nussmeier.
Nussmeier, but he ended up not hitting his. So,
what's his name?
Nussmeier. Garrett Nussmeier.
Yeah, okay.
Nussmeier. He didn't hit his over, which he was the freaking promo pick too, like a discounted promo, and he still didn't hit. So that game was just sloppy. So, no, I wouldn't have hit regardless. So it worked out.
I'm gonna lose my mind. There was a turnover. Minnesota turned the ball over or something at the goal line. 7-3 Jacksonville right now. And he picked the Chargers, so that's going to be an interesting game also. So, you guys got anything else you want to talk about?
Oh, not about this week. Excited for the Arkansas game, but a little bit nervous, but I'm sure we'll get into that midweek.
We got Arkansas. I'm going to call Jake, see if he wants to come on for that, talk about the Arkansas game. I was nervous about it after Florida. Florida was one I was really nervous about for a little bit. Even with Lagway out, it was like, okay, let's see what team shows up. This team shows up in Arkansas, it's going to be another bloodbath. So I know Arkansas, this is their rivalry game for us. We don't care about them, but it will be somewhat a game in the first half for sure. So we will see.
Most of us don't care about them.
Yeah, I don't care about them. I look at. Sorry, man. I just call it how I see it. All right. Look at just because I'm right. All right. Now you're turning into my wife.
You don't have to get defensive.
Man. No, it's fine. You're turning into my wife. Just because I'm right means I'm still wrong. So it's fine. You guys got anything else?
No, I'm good, man.
Oh, man.
All righty. Until Wednesday, we will see you, boys. Hook 'em.
Welcome.